Well, hi there, it's Tim, your living sky guy from the Paris of the Prairies, beautiful Saskatoon, or more correctly put, the backyard of my lovely home in beautiful Saskatoon. And what am I doing right now? Well, I'm taking a look at the moon. So why am I looking at the moon? Well, give you a little history lesson. I've had an interest, I guess, in astronomy since I was 13 years old. For a couple of years, I hung around with a group of guys in the Lower Mainland who had a small little astronomy group in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, and learned a little bit from them, but I sort of drifted away from astronomy when I was about 15, concentrated more in photography. But as I got older, went to school, went to college, got out in the workforce, got married, started having kids, all that sort of stuff. As my kids were growing up, anytime we were anywhere where there were the stars, I shared what little knowledge I had with them. Fast forward 20 some years later, and the kids are all growing up, starting to move out of the house, and 6 years ago I get from my oldest child a gift. And that gift was a membership to the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, saying, "Dad, you've always been interested in space and astronomy. Time to go have some fun with it." And that's what I did. Now, when I first went to my first meeting at the RASC in the Saskatoon Centre, I had a goal, basically to try to learn more about the night sky. Well, I sort of jumped in with what I knew, which was photography, and really sort of worked on my astrophotography, and did it more from an artistic as opposed to a scientific bent. And that's sort of what sort of derailed me from learning more about the night sky, but as opposed to learning more about how to photograph the night sky. Now, one of the advantages of being a member of the RASC, and there are many advantages, is every year you get one of these in the mail. It's the Observer's Handbook. And this little booklet is about 300 pages long with an amazing amount of information, which for 5 years, I really did nothing with aside from saying, "Ooh, the Observer's Handbook's here." Put it on the shelf, walked away. Well, about a couple of years ago, I picked up this little telescope here, and the only thing I've ever done with this telescope is put a camera on the back end of it and used it for deep sky shooting. So I decided about a month ago, maybe I should start to actually do something with the telescope aside from that. But that sort of was a maybe thing. Well, fast forward to a few days ago, and beautiful clear skies, lovely warm weather, but what's out there? A moon, which astrophotographers, unless they like photographing the moon, really don't like the moon because it washes out the stars. So basically, if God gives you lemons, make lemonade. So what's lemonade? I don't want to photograph the moon, but maybe I'll put an eyepiece in the back end and view the moon. Well, one of the things that the RASC has are programs where you can do certificates, and I'm working on what's known as an Observe the Moon certificate. Now, in the very center of the book here, not exactly very center, but very near the center, there are a couple of maps of the moon, one kind of photorealistic, one more like a road map type thing. And listed on there are 100 lunar features. The Observe the Moon certificate, if you're using a telescope, basically says find those 100 features in the moon. Once you get those and get some verification from someone who trusts you and says, yeah, he did it, they will give you a certificate and a lovely little pin. Hey, what does that remind you of? When my kids were in Scouts, what did they do? They earned badges. Well, hey, I can be an old man of 58 years old and earn badges too through the RASC. Now, if you go to rasc.ca, you'll see lots of information about the Royal Astronomical Society. There are 29 centers across Canada. Just about every major city's got one. By becoming an RASC member, it's a great way to learn about the night sky from enthusiastic people and earn badges. Yes, you get to earn badges. So anyways, that's what I'm doing right now, is working on my Observe the Moon certificate. I'm figuring it's going to take me about a month to complete it because I have to see the moon at different stages of lighting so that you can see the nuances of things like the craters, the valleys, the mountains, that sort of stuff. They're not all going to show up in one night. So this is a project that's going to take me about a month. I'm having fun. It's invigorating. It's a great way to enjoy the night sky. If you've got kids or a spouse or a partner who's interested in it as well, it's a great activity to do together. And you can do it with binoculars, you can do it with a telescope. If you're doing it with binoculars, you only have to find 50 of the features, but a telescope, you need the full 100. All I would say is take a look at rasc.ca, take a look at the site, take a look at the different programs. If it's something you'd be interested in, join. They're a great bunch of people. There's 5,000 of us across the country, and I would love to see you become one of them. So I'm going back to the moon. Good night and clear skies. If you want to continue on this voyage of discovery with me, please click on the subscribe button. And you can also follow my personal exploits on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for Living Sky Guy. Clear skies, everyone.